Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and yes, the title is not a lie. I've only bloomin' played Princess Peach Showtime on the Nintendo Switch. Yes, Nintendo UK invited me down to their offices, and I had a go. I played for about an hour, and I'm just gonna tell you what I think. It's been done before, it'll be done again in the future. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. So, Princess Peach Showtime, is it the hardcore first-person shooter we all expected it to be? I really want to say yes. No, Princess Peach Showtime is a simple game. That's to be expected. That's what everyone anticipated. If anyone thought it was going to be otherwise, you need to start thinking. The basic premise is Princess Peach has showed up at the Sparkle Theatre for some reason, I can't fully remember why, and then there's this sort of evil entity called Grape, fruit! And Grape wants to take every play that's on show at the Sparkle Theatre and turn it into a tragedy, which by definition means all the plays were comedies. And it's up to Princess Peach to save the day. She's got to burst in and have all these transformations. They're not outfits, they're called transformations, and I suppose you do get extra abilities and stuff like that, so that makes some sort of sense. And you got to save the plays. You got to stop them being tragedies and make them comedies again. I don't want to specify, the game doesn't specify that they're all comedies, it's just that's how theatre works. We wouldn't usually do this, but let me take you through the controls. So you have the A button to jump, which is unusual. It's usually the B button, often the A button as well, but it isn't in this case, it's only the A button. The B button performs actions, and that's about as broad as I can possibly be with that. And you've got the X button, which will remind you of the controls, because they are complicated. Left stick moves you around, and ZLZR is like a context-sensitive thing. In certain spotlights, you can press ZLZR and something will happen. That is it. It is dead simple. Like, it is really arguably stripped back. I think it's being a bit mean to say it is completely stripped back, but it's a very simple game. It's very basic. And it's very easy. If there's an enemy there, press the B button, you'll take them out. If there's something you need to interact with, press the B button, you'll make it work. It's super, super simple, and I don't want to say that's disappointing, but, you know, I like a little bit more meat to my games, you know. And I know, this game is arguably not designed for someone like me, or indeed probably many of the people watching. In truth, Princess Peach Showtime is all talk and no trousers. But what talk? This game entirely hinges around its presentation. And its presentation, even though I'm afraid that all the stuff that you've seen is off screen rather than actual capture, but them's the rules, it is gorgeous. The resolution isn't ultra high at a guess, and this really is only a guess. I'd say 900p. Frame rate stuck at 30 and can dip below during certain animation sequences and stuff like that. But the actual sort of technical side with the lighting and the way that it's all laid out, it's just kind of a little bit gorgeous. Every level is a play, and every play has a set and a stage, and there are curtains, and everything is kind of sort of semi-represented, if that makes any sense. Kind of a little bit like something like Yoshi's Woolly World or Yoshi's Crafted World, where there are sort of like representations of things. Like at one point Peach rides this wave as a ninja, but it's just like a wooden structure, but obviously it behaves as a oh, it's just really cool. And there's an attention to detail as well. There's like, you know, when you're Ninja Peach, I'm not gonna just talk about Ninja Peach, but she's got a lot of good stuff. When you're Ninja Peach, you can like hide in the grass, and she crouches down, but then she also holds these like two fake like bushes. They're like, I think they're just cardboard cutouts or little wooden ones, and it's like she's hiding and no one can see her. Like, obviously they can, but it's a stage performance. It's just a lovely little thing. Like, you know, I did drama when I was younger, and this is sort of, well, this is bringing up a lot of very pleasant memories for me. And like when she's underwater, still ninja form, in order to make sure she can breathe, she's holding a bamboo sort of stick, a bamboo tube, and it's sticking up out of the water so she can, oh, it's little things. It's dripping in little things. I also got to see, I didn't get to play it sadly, but I did get to see some of the Peach as an ice skater or figure skater. I can't remember the precise name. Forgive me. And there's just something about the animation, something about the movement that is just so pleasant. Everything about the game is really pleasant. And then there's like the whole thing with Cowgirl Peach, and she's like, don't Google that. You're like lassoing barrels and throwing them at enemies and stuff like that. It's nothing out of this world, but it's all just presented in such a lovely, charming way that I couldn't help but be really entertained. Each play also has a load of collectibles. They're just these sort of like star things. I think they're like sparkle power or something. There's a lot of sparkle going on. And they're strewn throughout the level in various different locations, and I'm really quite pleased to say that at no point did I ever get all of them in a single level. Like, I always missed 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You know, they're not like super well hidden or anything like that, but there were quite a few times where I just didn't find them all. And that's kind of nice, you know? It's kind of nice to know that even someone like me has something to go back to a level for. I've got a reason to go back to a level, to get 100%. You know, little things. It's not a hard game. I cannot emphasize that enough. It is, like, dirt easy. But it's just kind of nice? I don't quite know how else to describe it. I mean, obviously I could say punch key.
If you wanted to be in the video so badly, why didn't you say? You're gonna muffle me, aren't you?
It's almost kind of enchanting. You know, the whole sort of typical idea of like, you know, princesses and, you know, Disney kind of stuff, you know. It's all a little bit twee, all a little bit sickly, and that's definitely leaning into it here, but I don't know, maybe just because it's a video game, it's not quite as sickly and twee to me. I don't know, I just like it. It's not a major release. It's not the next Splatoon. It is a side project by Nintendo. It's not a new Mario game, anything like that. It is just this little sort of small game that I think they're charging full price for, admittedly. And it's sweet and pleasant and just kind of a nice time. It's a nice time. I do hope that later on in the game things, you know, sort of get a little bit more involved, and I imagine they will, because I'm fairly certain what I played is like the first 4 levels, and the lobby, in which I could do absolutely nothing, but I do think it was a lockdown version of the game. Like, it sort of felt like something should happen, I should be able to interact with some things, but it's a preview, it's not the final build of the game, I'm certain. I hope so, because if so, that's a soft lock. I can see plenty of parents with young children having a really lovely time with this, with their kids, you know. It's not something that I would have had that much experience before, but as I've got older, I've got more and more friends who have children, and, you know, I can really see after interacting with them that this is the kind of game that would go down really well. There's just enough in there to be involved enough to entertain an adult. It's not a baby's game that you do have to use your hands. But it's also never gonna leave the child out of the equation. If the child wants to play it, they're probably gonna be able to enjoy it tremendously and get the most out of the game, as long as they're not too young. You know, zygotes probably are gonna have a challenge. All in all, I'm more excited about Princess Peach Showtime than I thought I would be. You know, I still don't think it's necessarily gonna set the world on fire or anything like that, but, you know, I walked away more positive than I thought I would, and I can't see how that's a bad thing. I would like to see a slight performance improvement because it's not ideal at the moment. It's not terrible, but there are a few instances, particularly during the transformation scenes, where the frames just drop to, like, you know, the mid-low 20s, which ain't great, particularly considering it's a fixed camera game. But all in all, I'm quite keen to see some more, and no doubt we will be giving you a full review closer to release. Not now, this isn't a review. A lot of people leave comments saying, nice review. This isn't a review, I played an hour. If I reviewed a game after playing an hour, it better be a flippin' short game. But what do you think? Are you excited for Princess Peach Showtime, or do you think it's a waste of bloody time? Let us know with a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you use the power of Sparkle to subscribe? And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. Not quite how I wanted to reveal the new desk. It's certainly not this far away from the wall, but it's a start. Don't do what your brother does. Your brother sits outside and meows at me, and then he runs downstairs. What am I to do?